Alright, I forgot to turn this fucking Wi-Fi off. Alright, Shalom, Shalom. Out here once again, the prophets of the downfall of this wicked kingdom, this wicked queendom, Babylon the Great, America, with the spiritual Egypt, Rome, Nineveh, Assyria, Sodom and Gomorrah, all these empires wrapped up into one. To warn you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians to repent. Because the destruction is at hand, man. The Lord willing to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rikak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the occupants pushing this truth and believing this truth, but the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the whole elect. Shalom to the Aquas who are listening learning. If you sisters who are listening learning. We out here once again, man. Revealed by the Spirit of the Lord's mouth is the title, because everything that's going on is prophecy, but the only way you understand what's going on is a prophet got to give you the warning of it. Y'all got it.
This is Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 10. It says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not." And brothers are going into a couple of topics before the camera cut on. Going into how we're living in the days where Esau is being made bare. The Lord is uncovering every single secret enterprise, every single secret counsel and device that the so-called white man has had for generations. It's all coming out now, man. And there's nowhere else the so-called white man can hide, because the Lord has put the Spirit upon his prophets to come out and make inquisition upon the counsels of the ungodly. And now through the Spirit, everything's being revealed, man. The brother was just bringing out about 501c4, man. What the elites of the society are using that to basically get another leg up on top of the 3-4 legs that they already have in society, man. And at this point, like the brother mentioned before the camera cut on, Esau don't give a damn about niggas like that no more. He fucking over everybody, man, because he's at his last leg. This is what happens when you put an animal back against the wall. You're gonna try to claw his way out any way possible. Everybody's collateral damage. Like Joe Smoke, you Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians, whoever's in his way is collateral damage, man.
And since you said that, right? Real quick, this precept, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 14 and verse 8. The envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drive up his soul. A wicked eye envy his bread, and he is a niggard at his table.
Right, and the so-called that perfectly describes the so-called white man. He's a true niggard in every sense of the meaning, man. He hasn't been satisfied with his portion since the Greek Empire. Since the Greek Empire, he's been trying to expand and expound on everybody else's territory instead of cherishing what the Lord has given him.
Yep.
And now we're here in America, Babylon the Great. Well, he wants, not only does he want your complete subservience, but he wants your soul too. Now he want to chip you. Now he want to regulate how you buy, how you sell, who you sell it to, when you do it. Now he regulate life itself, man. The so-called white man is not satisfied with his portion, which is exactly why the Lord is getting ready to take him down, man. Yeah. Because if you leave this disease in the earth, it's like a cancer. Eventually it's going to take over the whole body and everything's going to die.
Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 20. Peril and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied.
And the scriptures say that the desire of Esau is as hell and death, and he can't be satisfied. So it says hell and death are never full. His desire is never full. And no matter how many people he's conquered, he still wants more. Oh, he conquered all the people? Let me chip them now.
I need to know where they at, what they doing.
What they doing? Oh, I can't chip 3-point-something billion, so let me go ahead and cut it down to 500 million.
Right.
I can manage that many people.
Right.
Yeah, and the truth is starting to come out about Esau. He done paraded himself around the world pretending to be some hero and some light bringer and some symbol of civilization and progress. And history is cutting him, man. The truth is exposing him. that you're a fraud, and you thought that your crimes would be buried in the dirt forever. But now they're being brought forth through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 8. It says, therefore he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid. Neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him. For inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly, and the sound of his word shall come unto the Lord for a manifestation of his wicked deeds.
Right.
And like the brother said, you can't hide it no more. Everything that's been hid is being uncovered. There's nowhere else that the so-called white man can hide. You can't hide behind Australia. You can't hide behind French. You can't hide behind being a philanthropist or a benevolent. You can't hide behind none of that. Everybody knows who he is now. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. The reason why you have GMO foods and lead in your water is because of him. If you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty, a lot of people want to skip past and do semantics and let's get to the source of the problem. Whose faces on the money? Who's controlling you? The so-called white man. Everybody's following the money, right? It's the so-called white man. He's the one that has incentivized the destruction of the ocean, the destruction of the ozone layer, the destruction of the people. It's him.
Yeah, if it was some breadcrumbs to lead back to something, it leads back to these leaks and they bump.
Oh yeah, he just like what's that? Gingerbread man.
Yeah.
You following the crumbs, and you end up at the doorstep of the devil, man.
Yeah, man. Real tough.
Ecclesiastes chapter 14 and verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
Yeah.
He shall not take pleasure in his goods.
Right.
There is none worse than he that envieth himself.
He said he should not take pleasure in his goods, man. He is not satisfied with his own.
It says, and this is a recompense of his wickedness.
Right.
If he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Yeah, he set up charities, and really it's a tax write-off. You know, he set up these foundations, and really it's a haven for him to hide money, so he ain't gotta pay taxes on it. All of these are these little loopholes that Esau used, and it shows you that his God is his devil. We were talking about this before the camera cut on. This whole political system is just bribery. All it is a sophisticated system of bribes that they call campaign donations, campaign funding. But really it's all bribes. The lobbying groups. All they doing is paying for your politicians to vote their way. This is why no matter Democrat or Republican, they always side with the state of Israel. Because AIPAC funds both sides of the coin. So all the politicians are bought and sold. They're bought and paid for, but they put on this act as if they care about the people. They don't care about the people. This is why the politicians get in office, then they come out richer than they were before they got in.
Right.
It says Putin is worth, I want to say like $200 billion. He's never had a real job. All his jobs have been government jobs, and his salary is only $100,000 per year. So it shows you these politicians get into these positions of power to enrich themselves, just like they did in Rome. Rome is no different. That's why everybody wanted that. Caesar wanted to be Caesar. Why? Because that was a position to make himself rich. It was never about the people. He that is evil to himself.
And you got something like the brothers mentioning. It's called insider trading, where a lot of the elites, they trade amongst themselves and they deal amongst themselves to keep that percentage of themselves at the top of society. Instead of divvying out the resources to the rest of their brethren, they just keep the dukes of Edom rich. And the common Edomite, he just all to the wolves go. If you live with the niggas, you live with the niggas. If you don't, you don't. But this is for us.
He coming for me.
And that's classism. So now you're dealing with a situation where Esau is preying on his own people. And that's what you see. When you hear the political conversations about the middle class being eroded, that's a code word for the common so-called white man. His wealth is being taken from him. Because they're not stealing from Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Your average household income is $33,000. They done picked you clean.
Yeah, they been took all that shit.
Yeah, they done picked your bones. So now they're starting to eat their own.
Facts, because the average income, average household income for the so-called white man is in the 100,000. I think it's like 125,000 or something like that. So that big disparity, they're not taking from Negroes, they're taking from their own people. Because a lot of these people, a lot of these homes are occupied by so-called white men. A lot of these jobs, these high-end jobs, are occupied by Edomites. A lot of these different things that they're starting to take away are occupied by Edomites. So only the really people that are hurting are Edomites, man.
Yep. Yep.
Because Jake has already been at the bottom.
Yeah, property taxes ain't fucking with Jake.
Right.
Jake don't own property. That shit don't move, Jake. Like it's a war that's happening above Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans' head, and it's dealing with Esau on Esau within America. They're stealing from their own people. When they cut the aid, when they cut the stamps, the majority, and contrary to popular belief, the majority of the people that are on welfare are so-called white people.
71%. 71%.
So when they cut this aid, they think that they cutting it off from Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the welfare queens, the Michael Jordans of welfare. But
Right.
low-key, they affecting their own people doing that. And the average so-called white person is so slow, they don't even understand that they're voting against their own well-being.
Yep. That's it. Man.
Real quick, to land back to brother's point, it says, the median wealth of white households in the U.S. was $285,000 in 2022. This is significantly higher than the median wealth of black households, $44,100, and Hispanic households, $62,120. And why is the so-called Hispanic households more? Because they have a bigger family unit. The mother and the father, a lot of times, is still in the home. Whereas with Jake homes, it's a lot of times it's split. But it shows you that Negro, Latino, and Native American households don't have any wealth. So when they say they destroy the middle class, who are they actually talking about?
Edomite. This is Proverbs 11:28. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall,
Right.
but the righteous shall flourish as a branch.
Yeah.
He that trusteth in his own house, Salakia, he that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart.
That's not what Gerald Celente and Richard Wolf gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you
Right.
giants of gold.
Right.
They're gonna tell you that trusting in your riches is gonna lead to your downfall at the end of the day.
Yep.
Because as brothers are speaking, all these things are happening. The monetary system is being stripped as we speak. And they're getting ready to issue in those CBDCs, man, that digital form of currency. Right. This is where it's leading to. You know, it might seem small, the things are happening on a small scale right now, but that's how large matters always develop. They start off small, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger until you don't realize what's happening.
Yep. Yep.
It's Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. Because what is buying all that gold profit you if the lights come? What is having a generator and MREs, what does that benefit you if everybody around you is starving? At that point, you become a target. You think you prepared for a rainy day, and really all you did was make yourself a bigger target. So there really is no protection against the judgment of the Lord. Because that's what this is all about. This is the warning of the judgment of the Lord. Even all the things that Esau is doing concerning the MOTB, pressure from above and pressure from below, is the Lord using that as a tool of judgment. And the prophets are starting to say, look, the judgment of the Heavenly Father is coming. For the Israelites repent, but we know 2/3 won't. But ultimately, this judgment is for the wicked and everybody who has set themselves up to try to protect themselves from the judgment of the Heavenly Father.
This is Proverbs 14:11. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown,
Right.
but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
Yeah. And Esau's way to the naked eye seemeth right.
Right.
Because he drives nice cars and he lives in gated communities. It seems like his path is the right way to go.
Yeah.
But the world is about to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
The Lord did the same thing with Egypt. He set it up to make it look like it was undefeated. It could never be conquered. It could never be destroyed. And then the Lord destroyed it. And that's how the Lord made a name, a refreshed name in the earth.
Yeah. Habakkuk 2:9. Woe to him that coveteth and evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high,
Right.
that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And this is what the elites is doing, man. They trying to cover themselves for Jacob's trouble.
Right.
Woe to him that coveteth and evil covetousness to his house, so he take away from his own people, just so he can have enough for his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul.
Hey, so he consulted shame to his own house.
Right.
But that's what an idiot does with power.
Right.
They destroy
Right.
themselves, man.
Right.
Esau has destroyed himself 3 times, mind you.
Yeah.
He's destroyed his own self 3 times. And this is the last time the Lord is going to allow him to just run wickedly in the earth.
Hey, that's why it said in Ecclesiastes 14 that he's a niggard at his own table, man. The table was supposed to represent generational wealth, man. Well, the only generational wealth applies to the elites, man. And that's what the Lord say, hey, in 1 Corinthians 10:21, either you're going to sit at the Lord's table or you're going to sit at the so-called white man's table. But the Lord say he prepared a table for us in the presence of our enemies. And Jay still want to sit at the so-called white man's table, but the so-called white man can't even sit at the so-called white man's table.
And y'all brothers going into how that table represents where you exchange money.
Right, a bank.
That's where our money is. That's why the brother read, riches will not profit you outside of these riches.
Right.
Outside of the table that the Lord's prepared.
Right.
This other money ain't going, because we storing up our riches in heaven.
Right.
You know, we have a spiritual bank account that we storing up while we're in right now. We investing in right now. And when the time comes, hey, we're going the Lord willing, we're gonna be able to cash out on that investment.
Lord willing.
But it's a spiritual investment, man.
Right.
And when the Lord said, he prepared the table before me in the presence of my enemies. Now, when you go into the etymon of bank, just verification, and you can pause it because you can see right here, it says table. And I'm gonna read it. It says bank, financial institution, late 15th century, originally money dealer's counter or shop, from Old Italian banca and also from French banque, both meaning table. So Esau has his table, which is the banking system,
Right.
where you got to go to him
Right.
to get loans. What did the Lord tell us? You shall lend to them,
Right.
but you shall not borrow.
Right.
So the Lord is
Yep.
setting up our table in the presence of our enemies. And that's why I look crazy to this world. It's supposed to, because this world has accepted madness.
Hey, man, it's fire because I was reading this the other week in the lesson. When you read in Psalm 69 and 22, King David said this, it reads, let their table become a snare before them, and that which shall have been for their welfare, let it become a trap.
Because, I mean, you trying to play on another man's table.
Right.
So if you're trying to charm a
Trying to eat,
a
right,
serpent,
yeah.
you get bit. There's no
Right,
pity for you.
right.
You sitting at another man's table, man.
Yep. So King David saying that is a prophecy of what's going to happen 2/3 in our time now. This is Isaiah 28:7. It reads, but they also have erred through wine and through strong drink, or out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine.
Right.
They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean.
Yeah, and Esau's table, a table represents what? Resources.
Right.
You think about family dinner, you sitting at the table, you looking at the spread.
Right.
Well, on Esau's table, there's wine.
Yep.
There's bread.
Yep.
The bread of violence. He has his own wine, his own philosophy.
Right.
So if you sit at his table, you have to eat of his meats.
Right.
Scripture talk about being weary of a rich man's dainty meats. Because it look good, you don't want to sit at the table that the Lord's setting up for you because it ain't established yet.
Right.
Like we just read.
Yep. That's
Because
cold.
all of that on
Right.
Esau's table can be likened unto pitch. This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes 13. He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that have fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him. So you partaking at Esau's table, it's like you touching that pitch. And you touching his wine, you partaking of that wine, you drinking some of the, eating some of the meat. All of that is pitch, man. And if you touch it, you're gonna be defiled therewith.
Yep.
And see, 2/3 of our people, they took the deal. This is why the rappers gonna keep rapping about shit that's gonna get these young, impressionable jakes locked up for 20, 30 years, making jeans for 10 cents a day. It's a whole pipeline where they'll pay a couple jakes and throw the rest of their people down the river, man. Real quick, this is to land back that point. This is Isaiah chapter 1. Isaiah chapter 1 and 23. Thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves, man. So they sitting at Esau's table and he drinking the bread of violence. He drinking, he got all the spread and they like, yeah, let's eat. Let's make it look good so our people come eat over here.
Yeah.
And they'll refuse the table of the Lord.
Yep. Hey, the them back there. You said they bread of wickedness, right? And wine of violence.
Yep.
This Proverbs 4
Yep.
and 14 Enter not in the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass away. Hey, real quick, you want something? The one in Sirach, what is it? Is it 31, 32? Proverbs 4 and 16. For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence.
Right. And that's the table of Esau.
Right.
His table is set up.
Right.
And he has the control of the planet, but look at what's on his spread. Right. In the eyes of the Heavenly Father, it's vomit. Yep. But to the eyes, it look appealing.
Yeah,
you get with Esau, he gonna give you the $1 million contract, and you know, now you and your family having cookouts every day in a gated community.
The suburbs.
But everybody else suffering, and you gotta ignore that. Nah, man. But that's what come with eating at Esau's table. Serving man, being a servant of mammon.
Yep. You got whatever you want.
It's Sirach or Ecclesiastes 21 and 2. Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent.
Right.
For if thou comest too near it, it will bite you.
That's why I say in Proverbs 4, hey, come not the evil men, avoid it. Pass not by it, man. Don't even get near it. Because if it do, hey, it's gonna bite you, man. It's gonna get you.
Right.
He gonna seduce you with them bribes, man. You got it.
This is Proverbs 23 and 6. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye.
Right.
Neither desire thou of his dainty meats.
Exactly. And Esau has proven that he has an evil eye, even towards his own people.
Right.
The moment they stole everything from everybody else, they had World War I and II. They started fighting over the shit that they stole from everybody else.
Yep.
The moment that they colonized everybody, they started having world wars against each other. So-called white-on-white crimes, since they talking shit.
That's what it is, right. Edomite on Edomite crimes. Right. You got it.
This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes 37. I'm going to start at 27. My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything. Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. For excess of meat bringeth sickness, and that's what I think they was too greedy. They was too greedy. Just letting them being put in that pipeline like the brother was talking about. He saw put your ass right in the pipeline. As soon as you hit the school, you on the pipeline to the prison house.
You know what? And I just found this out. You know how they determine how many beds to make for prisons, how many prison cells to make? By how many kids are not reading at their grade level. So if they determine that you're not reading at your grade level, they got a prison cell waiting for you. That's how, and show you the madness of this man. This man is evil, man. He's not trying to fix the problem. That's what he say on camera. Behind the scenes, he's really trying to capitalize off of it.
Right.
How can I make more money off of it?
It says, be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor to, and that's why the Lord told us we're in the world, but we're not of the world. Right. We're not unsatiable when it comes to the world. We get in and we get out. We have to go to work, we have to do our responsibility, but we out. We're not greedy when it comes, we're not unsatiable when it comes to this man's dainties.
Hey, that's what the Lord said in Proverbs 5. Hey, drink water from your own well. Yeah. Hey, you want to get over dainty in anything, let it be in the spirit, man. Let it be drinking the Lord's water.
Right.
Eating the Lord's bread.
Because that's just going to fill you up.
Right.
It says, for excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn to toiling. By surfeiting have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life.
They say, see, many perish by what? Over access of following the ways of the so-called white man. We watched all our celebrities. What happened to them in the end? They got greedy. They looked good. They was in shape, right? They looked good, right? I ain't even looked at it yet. I saw it in the chain. Even check. Hey, Jake on tour, man. Jake through.
Isley Brothers,
They gotta keep working.
Yeah, when that week is crazy because that week we were talking about Smokey Robinson, and that next week he popped up in the news.
Yeah, sexual assault.
See what I'm saying? Hey, but you done cleared the Esau dainties.
Right.
Now read that last part again.
Sirach 37 and verse 30, it says, for excess of meat
Right.
bringeth sickness,
Right.
and surfeiting will turn into toilet.
Yep.
By surfeiting have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life.
And see, they perishing, man, by following the ways of they're just the lamest, the easiest term to understand. Following the ways of the so-called white man gonna lead you to death, man. That's what's happening. Hey, cause that bribe look good, man. Hey, when this man invite you to the party, you see the food laid out, you see the women. It looks good, man.
You don't see that camera in the corner in that
Right,
video.
right, right. You see the bag on the table, like, yeah, that's your bag, that's your money right there. This me, all this, yeah, that's you. But before you put your hands on it, sign this contract.
That's what it's doing.
Yeah,
And it's right. It's always a stipulation when it comes to the dainties that Esau had. That's why it's a beauty in Yahweh Shai, because this didn't come with no stipulation. The Lord
Right.
said, as you freely receive, you freely give.
Right.
The truth is free.
what's the precept? He had no sorrow with it. Yep.
There's Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 22. The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich,
Right.
and he addeth no sorrow with it.
Right. The Lord didn't add no sorrow unto this blessing that we received. The table that the Lord has prepared for us didn't come with no stipulation.
Right.
We didn't have to go out and do nothing abominable or crazy. All we had to do was give our time over. That was it.
Yep. That's it, man.
And now the Lord has caused us to be prosperous and have good success
Yep.
spiritually.
Yep, beautiful, bro. Let me get this since you said that. In Ecclesiasticus 38 and 24, it reads, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise.
Right? Hey, wisdom taught us how to keep our business little
Yep.
in order to profit on the spiritual.
Right, beautiful. That's it.
Because once you
That's
keep your
it.
business
Keep that,
little,
brother.
hey, you got too much going on in the world. Your ass can't focus on what the Lord has in front of you. You too focused on, oh, this and that, and this and that, and this. I got this going on. The Lord got other things going on right in front of you, and you're not paying attention, man.
Yep.
So wisdom lets you know, okay, let me keep my business little so that I'm ready for what the Lord has for me when it comes.
That's it. That's it, bro. Hey, cause ain't no lukewarm in the truth, man. You can't serve Yahweh while Yahweh Shai being lukewarm, man. You either hot for the Lord or you ain't. And I was making the point the other week, we were just talking out the camera. Hey, when if you got a trade, right? Whatever your trade is, whether you a contractor, you an electrician, right? HVAC, a plumber. Hey, if that's your craft, man. Like you eventually you love it. You learn to love to get up and, cause you the man that fixing people electricity, or you the man that unstopping pipes and all that. Hey, that's a passion for when you got a skill, man. It's a passion. Hey, I was passionate serving y'all by Shema Shai. This is our first love, man.
Like it was said, it's in your blood.
Right, it's in your blood, man. Hey, either the Lord got it in your DNA or it's not there, man. And you only can fake it for a moment. For a little while, you can fake that. You got it.
Ecclesiastes 4:6. Better is a handful with quietness than both the handful of travail
Right.
and vexation of spirit.
Oh, I was just reading the precept too, man. That's fire. You got it.
Hey, I wanted to hit on precept that the brother had read earlier too. So what you was just saying, because hey, it's only so long that you can fake it, because eventually it'll become sorrowful for you. But just like any job, you wake up and you like, hey, fuck, I gotta go. Same thing will happen with the truth. Oh shit, I gotta go. Oh fuck, I gotta make a lesson.
Right.
Hey, the truth don't add no sorrow to it, man. It's not grievous to serve the Lord, man. It's quite simple when you really get into it. But if it's not your first love, it's gonna become grievous to you, and it's gonna become sorrowful to you. You know?
Right. Read that again up.
Ecclesiastes 4:6. Better is a handful with quietness.
Right. Meaning that goes to the Proverbs 30 about give me food convenient for me. Right? Don't make me poor, don't make me rich. That's what it's saying. Go ahead.
than both hands full of travail and vexation of spirit.
Right. And that's Esau, even the so-called white man, right? His hands is full of everything, which in the end is gonna be travail. And then he show you, look, I got everything, man. Right? Back that up. You said me this other day, Ecclesiastes 5:13. There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches, kept for the owners thereof to their hurt.
Right.
See, it's for their hurt though. Listen. But those riches perish by evil travail. And he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. And it goes into that the Ecclesiastes 4:16. This is why vocab no fighting tooth and nail to say the so-called white man done away with. Cause if we gotta come behind them, ain't nothing gonna be left for us. Ecclesiastes 4:16, there is no end of all the people, even if all that have been before them, they also that come after should not rejoice in him. Why? Because it just said in Ecclesiastes 5 and 13, there is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches, kept for the owners thereof to their hurt. But those riches perish by evil travail, and he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. See? You got it. It say, as he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall take nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. As this also is a sore evil, that in all points, as he came, so shall he go. And what profit have he that have labored for the wind? All his days also he eateth in darkness, and he have much sorrow and wrath with his sickness.
And that's Esau. He done
him.
hoarded riches, but you're gonna give it up.
Right.
You're gonna give it up to who it belongs to, which is Yahweh Shah. Because it don't belong to you in the first place. And you got it by ill dealings.
Yep.
You got it treacherously.
Yep.
You know, and now you don't hoard your riches, and now it don't satisfy you. Esau got all them numbers. He can go to his bank account and see all them zeros, all them commas, but he still got travail. They still sickly. You know, the scriptures talk about health and good estate of body is above all gold. Jake is still, even though in a lower state, Jake is still a lot of times more healthier than these Edomites. And these Edomites will have more than heart could wish, but in their body they be sick.
Right, yep. Hey, make the point. You said, hey, them ill-gotten gains, right? Proverbs 13:11, wealth gotten by vanity,
Right.
which is emptiness, shall be diminished. But he that gathereth by labor shall increase.
Right.
So, hey, ill-gotten gains, and it's crazy because Biden had said years ago when he first came in that he said they was going after Russia, ill-gotten gains. Well, how did the so-called white man get America?
Right.
You going out? He said they said they was going after the Russian oligarchies, ill-gotten gains. Well, how did the so-called white man get America?
Yeah, so-called white man are hypocrites. You know, they parade themselves around calling people terrorists.
Right.
Meanwhile, you committed acts of attempted genocide on multiple counts. You the only nation that's dropped one of these bombs on another nation of people.
Hey, that's why that nigga Haman and his sons were hanging on the gallows, man.
Come on, man. And now the world is starting to wake up to this, man. And that's a part of the wicked being revealed by the Spirit of the Lord's mouth.
Yep.
The wicked wasn't going to be revealed from the Ivy League schools, from Harvard, nor
Right.
going to be on the highways and hedges by the mouth of the prophets.
Yep.
So 1 Timothy 6, I'm going to get into KJV in the NLT. The 6, it says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
And they have that saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You know, Jake be having good intentions for why they want the bag, but they just don't know what come with it on this side. You gotta rub shoulders with a damn deviant.
Yeah.
You gotta brush shoulders and keep relationships with deviants, man. Esau's a real life deviant. And he loves seeing niggas go off. And that's why there's these backroom deals that these niggas be taking, and they still gotta work their ass off to keep it. They make these deals behind closed doors, and they still gotta spend 16 hours in the studio. They still gotta wake up 4:30 in the morning to show up for practice. They might have 50 million in the bank, but they can't stop working.
Yep. I got no time to enjoy their money, man.
Esau get to just call them on the phone and be like, hey, did you get it? All right, dinner at 7. be there.
Yeah.
Esau living a life of luxury. And Jake can't even imagine that there's a life where you can live where you don't have to have a passion. What do you want to do with your life? You don't even have to answer that question. There's certain Edomites that don't have to answer that. They don't have to have a purpose. They can just exist. They ain't got to be, well, you know, I like art. You might be an architect. They ain't got to have no kind of vision for their life because it's already set for them. That's what the Lord's preparing a table for us in the presence of our enemies. Because the riches of Esau are going to be translated.
Them niggas born, get licensed, done straight in the Lambo or McLaren, get passports and jet set.
And that's real wealth. I've been taught that working 8-9 months out the year, never seeing your family, but you got millions of dollars is rich. That ain't rich. That's a high-paid slave, man.
Nope.
You don't get to enjoy your family. That ain't rest.
Yep.
What was that documentary where they were sitting around in that circle, going through their family assets?
I think it's the 1%.
With the 1%, yeah, it was a documentary called The 1%, where a whole bunch of Edomites are sitting in a circle, family members going over their assets and how their children basically didn't have to go to school. Their children had 1%. That, right? Their children had buku money in the bank, to where as soon as they turned 18, they were just set free in the world to go live their life, man. Jake can't do that. Only Edomites can do that because they raped, robbed, and pillaged their way to the top. And they poured all the resources to themselves to where they don't. When they have a son or they have a daughter, they can tell them you don't have to work.
Right.
A job, a passion.
My son works.
My son, what is a passion? Son, you just go over to Switzerland and get the finest meat.
Yeah. Eat red meat all their life.
That's true wealth. That's true wealth. Our people have been taught a very slave-like mentality viewing success. They look at a guy like the Jordans and the LeBrons and the 2 Chainz and the Lil Waynes of the world. And they look at them like, man, that's the top of the food chain. Meanwhile, these guys have not stopped working. So-called legends in the game, still on stage.
Hey, money getting slim. The Wayne just dropped Carter 6.
I mean, it's like you got to keep working. It's no real wealth in it. And that's because, again, the Lord said, what, I'm going to blow them. Even the ones that you look at as successful, they still going check to check.
Hey, that Haggai 1 still applies to them. Right. They put money into a bag full of holes.
Hey, in fact, what I said, it was like the riches is like shampoo in your fingers. It just, the moment you get it, it just slips away. It was like you got to think. You got rents, multiple car notes, multiple insurances, the house insurance, the private schools. And he's like, it's like shampoo. It's just slipping out your fingers.
He said, I can't tell you how many times I got $1 million. And in a month, it was gone.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that's goes into Esau's dangers because upon getting that bag, he sets expectations for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you got millions of dollars?
Right.
You need $1 million car. You need $1 million house. You need $1 million bills. So upon receiving that bag, you can't enjoy it and you can't save it because he has these expectations for you and to elevate in society. Jake should have $1 million and have a $100,000 house. No mortgage. That would be ideal, but the expectations that the so-called white man put on Jake put him in a different predicament.
This is Proverbs 13 and 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinners is laid up for the just.
Right, and the wealth of these so-called white men, these Edomites, is laid up for the just. Because like I say in Job, they're going to vomit up these riches.
Right. Here's another one. Verse 25. The righteous eateth to satisfy of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want.
Right, hey, the belly of the wicked is wanting, and right now it's wanting.
Yeah.
Right now, Esau is wanting for understanding. That's why he's turning to AI.
Yeah.
He's wanting for some type of understanding on how to keep this empire going.
Yep. That's it, bro. Yep. Hey, you can't tap into your Yahweh while your Yahweh shy, man. That's not your lot, man. Hey, them niggas talking about looking for the lances and the fountain of youth. The Lord got that, man. And that's restored up for the Israelites, man. Yeah, you eat them, hey, you might well get ready, man. All you heathen nations, hey, you gonna live, eat real food, breathe real air, drink clean water, but y'all ass is gonna get old and die, and I'll see you again.
like what's his name? Klaus Schwab. or
Klaus
whatever.
Schwab, yeah.
You're gonna own nothing and love it.
And love it, right?
Well, you heathens gonna be in
Same.
slavery, and
You're gonna love it, man. Yeah. Hey, it's coming, man. And like what Solomon said, Ecclesiastes 2, I had men servants and maid servants born in my house. Solomon saw at least 2-3 generations of the same people coming back over and over again. And reincarnation is servant, man.
That's real wealth.
That's real well.
The heathen for inheritance.
They cut the word employment, right? It means service, slaves, man.
Ecclesiastes 36 and 26. Who will trust a thief well appointed that skippeth from city to city? So
Even that could be like
will
trying to
believe a
challenge.
man that has no house?
Right.
And largest,
with no foundation.
right?
You've been stealing, you don't got nothing to steal. Hey, that's why the elite, you don't know that you'll never see their faces, man. Because they've been stealing since they've been in power. And they can't be comfortable. You can't be comfortable with your house in the middle of a nice suburban neighborhood, man.
Yeah,
No, you gotta have
isolation.
your shit hid somewhere on 120 acres of land, because at any moment, because they don't got no house. Remember, he's a fugitive and a vagabond.
Vagabond.
It say Cain dwelt in the land of Nod, which means a wonder, man. Even Mount Seir was to the Horites. That wasn't even Esau. The Lord said, give him that, man.
Well, Cain, hey, he was a vagabond.
Right.
They're coming after that same spirit. He don't have no certain dwelling.
He don't got nothing. Everything that he got, or what it's saying, he's a culture vulture. Everything he got, he stole, man. He hasn't made anything. The scripture said that Jacob is the form of all things. What the so-called white man did was create a fucking company to patent Jake's shit. That's all he did. And he stole that money to create that company.
Jake come up with inventions and Esau come up with a patents.
Right, nigga
Right.
talking about invent help.
You
Come
gotta
up with your
determine
ideas.
ownership. He ain't created, he created a system to lord over.
Right.
Just like this whole monetary system. It's a way to lord over the people of the earth with fiat currency.
Yep.
It's resources in the ground. Why you gotta use fiat currency to get by in life? That's backwards.
Let me finish. Let's start from the top.
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes 30 and 36 and 26. Who will trust a thief well appointed that skippeth from city to city?
They say well appointed, means that's his craft.
That's his craft.
He's great at that.
Yeah. Well appointed. Highly thought of. So who believe a man that have no house, that lodges wheresoever the night taketh him?
Right, that's it. You got it. Right, you got it.
That's his whole history. You know? He marched through what they call Europe.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
rob, steal,
Asia
murder,
Minor.
Asia
Right.
Minor.
Right.
Okay, he became the Greeks, he became the Romans. Now he's a freaking American.
Right. It
You
is
know?
cold because, just like the Lord said, we pilgrims. Hey, these are the real pilgrims, man.
Yeah.
The so-called white man is the real pilgrim, man. He's the one that don't have no certain dwelling place. Hey, because the Lord like, man, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give him Mount Seir, man. So that wasn't even his, man.
Fuck that up too.
Hey, right. I'm gonna give him, you know what? I'm gonna put him over there in Mount Seir, man. That's yours. I'm gonna remove them Hamites from out of there, the Horites. Now I'm gonna let you have that, man, because anything else would be uncivilized. Real talk, you got it.
This is Sirach or Ecclesiastes 21 and 4. To terrify and do wrong will waste riches.
Right.
Thus the house of proud men shall be made desolate. Verse 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money
Right.
is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial.
Hey, and that go back to the law in Exodus 22, when they tell you if a man stealeth an ox, he got to pay back 4 or 5. If he burned down the field, hey, he got to make full restitution. And that's in Exodus 22. When you go to Exodus 21 and 16, it say he that be found in his hand, right, should be put to death. So Exodus 22, it tell you that Esau burnt down our stuff. When you read our first Ezra 1 and 45, it said, thou hast vowed to rebuild the temple that the Edomites burned down when Judea was overtaken by the Chaldeans, man. Hey, you got it.
Hey, and he built that same money that he took. It's like it says in verse 8. It says, he that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathers himself stones for the tomb of his bird.
Right, right.
He gathered up his own. He dug his own grave.
Right, that's it. That's Psalm chapter 7 and Psalm 7 and 1 Psalm chapter 9. It shall fall upon his own pate, on his own head. He digged the pit which he himself gonna fall into, man.
Everything you got was about criminal activity.
Right.
Now it's
Right.
like now you're trying to clean it up. Let me take this out of history. Let me just call critical race a theory.
Right.
Let me just say that it's a theory. What happened to Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans theoretically happened. Hypothetically, no, man, it happened. How you became a nation of people was through robbery and treachery. And now Esau's trying to cover up that fact because it's exposing him for being a hypocrite.
Right.
How can you call anybody a terrorist? Out of everybody on the planet, the so-called white man is the last person that can label anybody a terrorist. There's no nation you come in contact with that you have not exploited.
But that's an industry he created. He funded all those so-called terrorist organizations.
Yeah. All of them.
And then when they stop meeting your needs, they become the new boogeyman. The new excuse for those defense contracts. To keep the money flowing in Washington. To keep them tax dollars flowing into making weapons. They create these pseudo enemies that really they don't fund it. How they get the weapons that they got?
Right.
Ishmaelites ain't making guns.
Right?
Fuck.
Hey,
Those
that's
YNs in Chicago, they don't make guns.
Right. Nobody make guns.
None of them niggas' last name is Glock.
Yeah.
No matter what their Instagram tell you.
Yeah. Nigga ain't last name ain't Smith and Wesson.
Nigga
Right.
Instagram Glock Boy Daryl.
Yeah.
Winchester.
Nigga real name Edward.
Right.
Edward
Ruger,
Johnson.
Winchester. No, man. It's so-called white man.
So everything Jake is doing in these ghettos, the so-called white man is doing across the globe, man. On a scale that's unimaginable. Talk about drug dealing. What is the pharmaceutical industry?
Right.
Since you want to demonize Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans for what they doing in the hoods and ghettos, what are you doing across the planet?
A position of no value.
Nigga went to Afghanistan and heroin just started pouring out in the streets.
Right.
Hey, but if I may go back to your earlier point, this is all Esau's advice, starting with him destroying the gold standard, man. Because now people don't have any real resources.
Right.
By this monetary system that he's created, even though Jake drug dealing and they doing different shit, they don't have any resources.
Right.
He still has the resources. They were still on the gold standard and people had resources to trade and bargain with. You wouldn't have the same 1% that you have today. That whole regime would have switched eventually. They would have had their time, and those who had accumulated resources and did right with it, they would have been on top. But instead of, and so they thought of that. Oh, let's do away with that. So these niggas don't have no real resources.
Fiat system is a way to steal. You set up a fiat system, you want to steal from people.
And you control.
Because if they save in fiat currency and you own all the assets, who's winning?
Right.
Your money could go, your money is not tethered to anything of value. You can't take it in exchange for gold.
Nope.
So it's not locked down to something. That's why you notice when inflation go up, people's houses become more expensive on paper. That just means that the money doesn't have the same value. Because they own all the assets. That's why they don't give a fuck about inflation. If they own all the assets, they can inflate the dollar to sky high if they own everything. And that's what they're doing. They're intentionally controlled demolition this economy to set up the MOTB. Why? Because they own all the assets.
Yep. And that's why this monetary system that's spoken about in the Bible is so important to understand, because this is how he's going to control. This is his final end all be all. Because money can't be traced, it can't be tracked, right? You can't trace it, you can't track it. This is his form of tracing and tracking everything.
Surveillance state.
Total control.
It's already like when you go into Palantir. These are companies that are tied with the government and they're specialized in surveillance. They got systems that can crack your phone. You know, that the WhatsApp saying, look, everything you put on there is private. It's not. Once you do the user agreement, you're done, you're cooked. So they already got the infrastructure, the plumbing set up for the surveillance state. All they got to do is bring in this cashless society where the smart contracts can determine what you can and can't buy. And you see it already happening in China, which is an image, them modeling themselves after the beast. Where if you speak up against the system, your social credit score goes down. Then they can determine what you can and can't buy, including train tickets and plane tickets. Nigga can't leave their block.
This is Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
And it's exposing how wicked Esau is, because power don't change you. You know, it exposes who you already are. And all the power he's gotten, all it did was expose why he's the basis of men and why the Lord called him that. Why he's considered the wicked. You have nations that are being wicked, but you have a nation that's classified as the wicked. And we're seeing it. Look at what he's doing with power. Nobody's safe, not even his own people at this point.
Yeah, no. Yeah, read that.
So 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
Right.
Right, and it's to tell you who you are. Tell you what you're doing. And that you can't hide no more.
Yeah, we cutting through all of that Scott Ritter, the West, you know, all of that. Here's just the United States of America. No, it's Esau. Let's cut to the chase. We're not dealing with semantics and politically correct language. It's raw, it's unfiltered. The so-called white man is the devil, the son of perdition, as the Bible describes him. Everything he's doing on the earth, he fits the description. Tall, what do you say? We got a suspect, blonde hair, blue eyes, veneers.
Yeah.
It's soft-spoken.
Yellow teeth.
And you see him run.
Look like an old couch.
He's being exposed, man.
Yeah, it's funny. When people come up to this altar and they start to rant, right? This is wrong, that's wrong, they're complaining, they're signing, they're crying. And we ask the question, who's doing this? They're reluctant to say who it is.
Yeah.
Now, if you witness a crime, the first question the cop's going to ask you, when you see the person.
Right.
You said, yeah, what does he look like?
What's his business?
Right. What's his description? Well, white male, 6 foot tall, 190 pounds, long blonde hair with a tattoo of Jesus Christ on his arm.
Right.
That's a good description.
Right.
But they don't want to hear
Yeah, this guy last week.
the source
with the damn
of-
overalls
right,
on.
Right.
He talking about, well, the government. Well, who run the
Who's
government?
running the government?
And they never want to tell you who control the government, man.
Because that's the so-called white man trying to save face. And when I realized, I was meditating on this, the reason the Lord, you can't reason with them. In their own delusion, they really believe they the hero.
Right.
In their own delusion, they really believe they right and everybody else is wrong on them. Everybody on the planet wrong.
Yeah.
They really believe that. They not playing. Niggas ain't faking it. They really believe this. That's why ain't no reasoning with them. They can't come to grips with the fact that they are the villain based on their own actions.
Yes.
You wrote your own history down. Niggas ain't making up lies. You wrote it.
Hey, but it tell you in Wisdom of Solomon too. They reason within themselves, but
Right,
not right.
right.
Not a right. Ain't no
Right.
reason.
Exactly. That's why you can't reason with them. You just gotta tell them their judgment and keep it moving. Because and that guy was proof.
Right.
All the crimes that the history speaks for itself, and they still reach this delusion. Now it's all wicked politicians. Really? That's the conclusion you end up with.
I have one individual say, well, you have black people in the government too. I was like,
Yeah,
they're
man.
not running shit. They're just a vote.
They be trying anything at that level.
Just a vote.
That's why there ain't no reasoning with them. And that's why really we don't have a lot of Edomites come up and try to reason.
Well, that's their slogan. You don't negotiate with a terrorist.
Right.
Because Esau know there's no negotiating and no reasoning with the truth. I mean, because they've all heard it, they've all seen it, and then they went home and researched it.
Right.
They've all seen it, and they understand the message that we come with.
Right.
They just, and that's why they don't come up that much, because they understand the message that we come with, and there's no reasoning that can come behind what's coming out of the Bible, man. So they just scoff and they mock, and they say little snarky shit behind closed doors, because there's no reasoning that you can do it here that's gonna make any sense.
Right. They didn't anticipate us learning our own history. They was cool with laughing behind closed doors about what they got away with, or what they thought they got away with.
Yeah.
But now the history is starting to come out. Delectable Negroes.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all was eating so-called Negroes. Y'all don't want to bring that history out. Y'all, hey, blacks sold blacks. They wasn't eating them. Y'all love to use that. You sold your people sold, but they didn't. Well, what happened when we got over? Who was doing that? It was y'all, man.
Right.
And it wasn't the so-called elites. It was the average Edomite who was frustrated with his own fucking life, man. He was like, let me grab one of these niggas and take out my frustration.
Yeah, because they've been getting fucked over from the jump. Joe Smo, since the foundation of America, has been getting fucked over, man.
And that was his only calling card. I'm better than niggas.
Right.
And that's his own people sold him that. Instead of them actually giving them a piece of the pie, you know what they did? And they show you how greedy Esau is since slavery. Instead of them actually sharing, you know what they did? They was like, you know what? You better than niggas. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make you a taskmaster. Tell niggas what to do. That's right. Say it with your chest. Hey, you know what? You want to whip him? I can let you whip him too. But you can hang him.
Right. But even that trope came to an end because in slavery, a lot of these white women were marrying the slaves, man.
Right.
So they had to come up with different legislation. Even
Right.
though,
Stop that shit.
right? Because like Bro said, their only saving grace was, oh, you better than a nigga. But their own women was going against they.
Which is why they hatred so deep for Jake, because there's nothing you can do to Israelites that's gonna let you change places with them.
Yeah.
We're on the bottom, but still the most desired. And this ain't just this captivity. Roman captivity. When you read this book,
Yeah.
Jake was popping the Roman chicks like it wasn't
Yeah.
the rich Roman Edomites. The wives was getting popped to a point where they was having so-called mixed children in Rome. You had rich Romans got to figure out, man, what I'm gonna do with this child, because they stand to get my inheritance. So how is the one that's on the bottom still most desired? It show you that the Lord saw, as the scripture say, princes as servants walking upon the earth. How is the sons of Zion esteemed as earthen pictures? Even in this lower state, you can't unsee the special spirit the Lord put on Jake, man.
They fell so far that they're willing to march with us against oppression.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
crazy.
We all bleed red, brother.
Yeah. That's crazy too. Hey, and that happened during the time of the Maccabees, man.
Done.
Yeah.
They're losing. Once again, the same thing is playing out in just a different landscape. You've lost again.
This is real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 2:1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
And that word always pops up. Not a right.
Yeah.
And
No, go ahead. What did you say?
that's how they're reasoning within themselves. That's why there's no reasoning with the so-called white man.
Right.
Because he's
Period.
already came to his own conclusion in his own head.
Right.
He's right, you're wrong.
You're right. Everybody that's wrong. Right.
And
That's
he's
it.
willing to use violence to prove his point.
Yeah. If we go,
And his MO is always playing the victim. That's his MO. That's how he justifies his hatred. He plays the victim. Some Shita might say that some Negro took advantage of him.
Right.
And that's your excuse to burn a whole city down.
Right.
So now they doing it again. Now they setting up their cards to play victim again. You see what's going on in South Africa? It's gonna come here soon. We gotta, they're gonna throw out that victim card to justify the deviant wickedness that they're about to do, man. Because Esau about to come down with great
So
wrath.
that's all he got left.
That's it.
He don't got nothing left, man. Hey, and Elder Yasmin was going through that last week about how they set up that victim card, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. They afflict people and then play victim. I'm tired of the white guilt. You did the crime. The fuck we talking about?
The Elder Malcolm would call it the victim villain.
Right.
That's it.
And the small hats are the perfection of the victim villain.
Right.
They are the perfection of that. Yeah, Edomites talking about you can't even make jokes about small hats.
Yeah.
But y'all don't mind throwing so-called black jokes out like Tic Tacs.
Yeah. Hey, well, we in that third kingdom when they tell you in Isaiah 47 that the wickedness of America is gonna come into perfection. Well, this is their third rulership. The Greek Empire was when they established their wickedness, they established the sword. The Roman Empire is when they magnified their wickedness and they magnified the sword. The American Empire is when they perfected their wickedness, they perfected the sword, man. That's why I said in Isaiah 47 that the judgment that's gonna come to America is gonna be in perfection, man.
Hey, that goes in on 2 Esdras 4. That which is sown.
Right.
The Lord can't plant
Right,
righteousness
right.
until wickedness has reached this height
Right.
and been removed.
Right. Yep.
That's why even the elect are in transition. You know, the Lord said, be as though you have nothing. Why?
Right.
Because we're in transit. Lord willing to be a part of that number.
Right.
So the Lord's like, don't have no permanent thoughts about
Yeah,
this
you about to
place.
put this shit off.
Handle your business, but understand that all the elements are gonna melt with fervent heat, because the good seed, like Yahushua said, I'm in my Father's hands and y'all are in my hands.
Yep. Yep.
Meaning we're not planted yet. Isaiah
Right.
61 goes into trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord.
Yeah.
That's when we'll
Psalms
be planted.
1.
And then we can,
Go back to
boom,
Psalm 1,
yeah, I'm gonna establish my kids, my
At the
firstborn.
river's bank.
Yep. Psalms 1.
Now we can be established. Oh, yeah, this is my first wife, this is my, you know, now you get to establish you can be established. We're not established yet.
Right.
The table is being set, but it's not established yet.
What it say in 1 Corinthians 7:29-31? It say, using the world is not abusing it.
Right.
For the fashion of this world passes away.
You know, we angels in these bodies. We in transition. This ain't our playground. This our prison.
It's the devil's playground.
Yeah, this our prison. This ain't our playground. In the kingdom, we'll have our playground in righteousness where we can now I can establish my seed, my land, my garden, my vineyard. That's when you can establish yourself. The Lord is saying, don't have no permanent thoughts about this place, because the seed of wickedness it's taking root. Look at it. This is beyond rehabilitation, man. Your little pocket of righteousness with your one family keeping the laws ain't gonna trump the weeds growing in this garden.
Hey, man, and that's why the Lord took Enoch, man. When you read the scripture, and that's why Elias was going to this, and this is why the elect got to get beat up in the chariot, because if we stay here, man,
We're done.
we gonna, hey, even the righteous gonna be destroyed, man.
Yep.
If we stay here past, hey, the Lord, that's why I said the Lord have shortened the days, because if he don't, it'll be no flesh here to be saved, man.
Ain't gonna be no more laws to keep. You can't keep. And the type of society Esau is have
Lawless.
Lawless,
Man. And they showing you in Black Mirror, these different shows, hey, you either gonna follow ways of the so-called white man, or you gonna be dead, man.
Yeah, and that's why, like, and Jake don't understand how critical it is to know the time that you live in, not just being able to celebrate knowing who we are.
Right.
That is a great accomplishment for the spirit of the Lord. It feels good to know who we
Great
are.
feeling. Yeah, man.
Make
Yeah.
no mistake, brothers are never saying that it don't feel good to know who we are again. But we would be remiss if we didn't tell you the time that we live in.
Right.
This ain't the time where we get to make permanent decisions. We're in transition. This shit could go up at any time.
Damn,
The Lord got a controversy with the planet. You'll be lucky if you get out of the crossfire.
I'm trying to tell you.
Isaiah 33:15.
Damn.
He that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth gain of oppression,
Right.
that shaketh his hand from holding of pride.
Man, spray paint at the top of his head with false colors. This place gotta go.
Gotta go, bro.
What? You looking at us like we made that. You spray paint at the top of his head?
On the top. Isaiah 33:15.
Hey, so like Jake doing that, Jake lose their hairline. Jake then got they, see my shit?
Spray.
Jake got this shit way down here. Fresh cut like Steve Harvey. Nigga Shane, nigga, I ain't
That
Shane
shit right above nigga eyebrow.
Yeah, bro.
Nigga got a
Like this
baseball
what my
star
shit
right
used to be
here.
at. Hey, I got a little hair right here on the side.
We know that's
Like, damn, that's what my hairline used to be at way down there.
And that shit's super
Hey.
dark, jet black.
Carlisle, how about Shema Bashar?
It be the scoffers too, man. Like they be passing by us and looking at us like we crazy. And then you examine them and it's like, bro, come on, man, what we doing?
Isaiah 33:15. He that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despises gain of oppression.
Hey, and the so-called white man being the devil, that's speaking up right. That's identifying the criminal. Warning everybody of the criminal before we pull up with them soft words.
I love you, brother.
Yeah, my name's James Fruhan. Yeah, we don't believe that shit no more.
He that despises gain of oppression, that shaketh his hand from holding of pride.
Right.
that stoppeth ears from hearing of blood.
And a lot of how Esau's been able to maintain his power has been through bribes. This whole political system is a sophisticated form of bribes, where they need campaign funding to stay in office and keep their job. So they all taking bribes. And then at the same time, on a lower level, Jake don't want to speak out against the society because of the bribe that is their job.
Right.
The little bit of whatever you think you got in this society that you think is worth withholding truth is a bribe.
That shit like Mary Kay and selling Avon, huh?
That's a bribe.
You gotta keep that money coming in.
That money-
Or you through.
That money, ain't no fun, young.
And shutteth his eyes from seeing evil.
Right, meaning a righteous man ain't gonna take no bribe to stop prophesying the words of the Lord, man.
Right.
You
Hey,
got it.
that's why it's saying
We're not
Isaiah,
trimming our ways over here.
right. That's why it's saying Isaiah the first chapter that the Lord is raising up the judges is at the
First,
first.
yep, beautiful. Yep.
He shall dwell on high.
Right.
His place of defense shall be the
Munition. Munition.
numission of rocks.
Right.
And
Right.
bread shall be given him.
Hey, that
We got jobs and we gotta take care of our business, but at the end of the day, we're not gonna withhold our tongue through the spirit of Paul Yahweh Shemal Shah for the
Right.
sake of a job. That's a bribe at that point. The Lord strictly forbade us from doing that. Now we don't go to the job and do no reckless come in the job with a garment on,
Right.
and hop on the boss table like Revelation 13.
He go to slavery.
Nah, we still handle our business and we be at peace if at all possible. But at the end of the day, the words of the Lord have to be spoken. The testimony has to happen.
We're the witnesses.
Well, brother,
Hey, we incog Hebrew at the plantation, but out here,
yeah, no,
yeah,
hey, brother, my boat might see.
right.
That nigga work right there till my boat might see.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, get that NLT in there too. I want to see. I never read it. I want to see what it say for the munition of rocks, because it tell you in 2 Corinthians 10 and 4 that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. So it say his defense shall be the munition of rock. Munition goes into an arsenal, man. Right? And what the Lord say in Ecclesiastes and in Ephesians 6 and 17, take the helmet and the shield and the word and the sword of the Lord, which is the word of the Lord, man. See, our munition is the arm of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua.
And this is an expression of it. You present your body as a living sacrifice. You risk being in the elements. You risk whatever you have to sustain yourself on this side.
Right.
You risk it all for Yahweh Shah.
Right. Risk it all.
That's the just living by faith.
Right.
Because you understand that through Yahweh Shai, we're supplied with what we need.
Right.
You give up or you lose Yahweh Shai for $6,000 a month. You fucking crazy. Because that job that you got ain't guaranteed.
Yeah,
You
no.
get fired tomorrow on your day off.
Yeah. Real talk.
Right.
Read it, you guys.
Isaiah 33:15 in the NLT. Those who are honest and fair, who refuse to profit by fraud,
See, that's the men of the Lord, man. The judges the Lord raised up as at the first. You got it. That's fire.
who stay far away from bribes,
That's fire. See, I never read this, man. And you got it.
who refuse to listen to those who plot murder, who shut their eyes to all enticement to do wrong.
That's fire.
These are the ones who dwell on high.
Right.
The rock of the mountains will be their fortress.
Right. Which is Yahweh Shai and the angels, man. See, our ammunition is the angels. They be more with us than be with them, man. That's fire.
That spiritual rock.
Right. Yahweh Shai, man. You got it.
Food will be supplied to them.
Right. There's the Lord saying now, Isaiah 65, my servants shall eat and drink. Go ahead.
And they will have water in abundance.
In abundance, man. Hey, right now we're getting this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua in abundance right now, man.
Hey, because like you said, like you mentioned that Isaiah, it says, after it says, ye shall drink, it says, but ye shall be thirsty.
Right, 2/3, right. Yep. Oh, Matthew 5 and 6. Blessed are they that both hunger and thirst after righteousness, man. Because in that Isaiah 32, when it said that the vile man should never be called liberal,
Right.
because it said he gonna cause the drink of the hungry I mean, the hungry, the food of the hungry to fail, and the thirst of the hungry. Hey, they're gonna be destroyed, man. They ain't gonna have no. So let me read it.
Right, because this is the true solution to the problem that we face for generations. Like brothers always go into, we have a spiritual problem, and this is the solution to that spiritual problem.
Right.
As you eat,
Yep.
as you eat this bread and you drink of this cistern, this fills you up spiritually,
Right.
and it solves that problem that we've been having for generations.
Generations, man. You
This
got
is
it.
the ultimate form of zooming out.
Right.
All of our people's solutions involve the so-called white man still being on top. Building communities involve America still being America for the next 200-300 years. That's just not what's happening. That's not happening on the planet. What's the guy Dante Cobb? Guys like that, they don't really understand what's going on around them. But in order for you to understand, you have to be able to drink of this system. The Lord has to give you the eye salve to see what's actually going on. This when we started 5.
No, you can just read the point.
Isaiah 32:6.
Yep.
For the vile person will speak villainy,
Right.
and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy.
Hey, why would he speak villainy? Because it tell you in Proverbs 26, right? Hey, his thoughts, it said 7, right? The ways of his thoughts, is what it said. Matter of fact, hold on. Proverbs 26. Proverbs 26 and 26, it reads, Proverbs 26 and 25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Meaning his mind is completely wicked.
Right.
So read that again.
It says Isaiah 32:6. For the vile person will speak villainy,
Right.
and his heart will work iniquity.
Why? Because he's completely wicked, man. 7 abominations in his mind. Go ahead.
To practice hypocrisy,
Right,
and to utter error against the Lord,
right.
to make empty the soul of the hungry,
To make empty the souls of the hungry. There's 2/3 that made a covenant with him. Go ahead.
and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
That's what he's doing, man. So you trusting the so-called white man to feed you, to give you something to drink. You don't want to drink? Oh, I mentioned earlier, 1 Corinthians 10:21. You can't sit at the Lord's table, right? At the devil's table. You can't drink from the cup of the Lord and drink from the devil's cup. You got to choose one. So if anybody that's following this nigga that speak villainly, why? Because 7 abominations is in his heart, which is his mind. Everything that he said is completely wicked. It say what he do? He practiced hypocrisy. Then it said in Psalm 64, he searched out iniquities. Hey, and to tell you in Ecclesiastes 14, if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly.
He said he practiced iniquity.
He practiced hypocrisy.
Get up at 4 in the morning and go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, that nigga already done set the shit up. And these ain't the Edomites. Who is, man?
But he,
Look how red this man is, man.
right, Larry.
That's the Edomite. That's Larry from I'm downtown. You got it. You read it?
Yeah, it's 2 Thessalonians 2, and verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed,
Right.
whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth,
And he's been consumed with the spirit of the Lord's mouth through the prophets. Go ahead.
and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
So that's when Yahweh shall return. Then he's going to destroy them. First is to be revealed, and then it's to destroy them. That was the point. Now I want to get this.
If I get this last one.
Yeah.
It says, see, that's,
Go ahead.
it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan,
Right.
with all power and signs and lying wonders.
Hey, and lying wonders, right? Pseudoscience. Oh, go to Psalm 58 and 3. Read that and then get that word straight. I was going through that last night in the lesson. It's Job 15. So first it said that the wicked shall be revealed, right? By the spirit of the Lord's mouth. So now what is he hearing? Job 15 and 21. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness. See, they don't believe that the Lord is going to reveal them, that the Lord is going to expose them. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword.
And they don't believe they're going to have to pay.
Right, right.
And that's why it's coming from the prophets, from the spirit of Yahweh that Esau either the so-called white man as a nation of people. Just like the Egyptians were judged, they're going to be judged as a nation of people.
Right.
It ain't just going to be your elite. Y'all are going to be judged as a nation of people. Because y'all have collectively benefited from the crime.
Yep. You got it.
Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Right.
They go astray as soon as they be born.
Right.
Speaking lies.
They go astray as soon as they be born speaking lies. Hey, go to that word astray.
Strange from it says Strong's H 2114 Zabrak. It says to be strange, be a stranger. It says
No, astray. Astray. Yeah. Hey, so this word astray. Hey, cause what it said in Revelation 20, he came out the cave, right, to deceive the nation, right? This word astray right here. Spirit told me to look this up last night. You got it.
Strong's H 8582. It says to deceive.
Right. So he came out the womb, and as I'm making the point, Elder Aram from Alabama made the point in Psalm 53 when he came out the womb, right? When he came out the cave, what did he do? He deceived the nation. In Revelation 27. So read this again.
It says to deceive,
Right.
to go astray.
Right.
It says to stray, to stagger, to wander.
Hey, stagger, right? I brought this out, to stagger. What it said in Isaiah 29:9, they are drunken but not with wine. They stagger but not with strong drink. Right? What is it? Colossians 2, and they say the philosophy, be well if any man sport, because philosophy is vain deceit. After the tradition of men, after the world, after the rudiments of the world, not after Mashiach. Right? So our people following the rudiments of the so-called white man, we're following the rudiments of Yahweh Shai. Right? He said, you are they that follow me in my temptation. Right? So it's more than that. They say stagger. Then it said wonder, right? I brought out Hosea 9. It said Israel was made to wonder among the nations. So both words in here, stagger, wonder, error, which is Isaiah 20 I just read. It said they err in judgment, they stumble in vision, all that, right? Go ahead.
Seduce.
Seduce. What Eve said, he seduced me. When the Lord said, what did you? She said, the serpent beguiled me. Right? One of the words is seduce. Go ahead.
It says of intoxication.
And with what? What intoxication? They stagger, but not with wine. Right? They drunk, but not with strong drink. What's intoxication? The philosophy of the so-called white man. 2/3 niggas is drunk on Egyptology, Pan-Africanism, Black consciousness,
Islam.
Islam, fucking African American studies. That's intoxication, man. Go ahead.
It says to cause the err, mislead mentally or morally.
Mentally, what happened to us? We were destroyed mentally, spiritually, and emotionally by the so-called white man. Go ahead.
Wandering of the mind.
Hey, you talking from book to book? Yeah, the book of Enoch, right? The book of Jasher, Jubilee.
Apocalypse
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Abraham.
The Apocalypse of Abraham. What? Go ahead.
It says of sin ethically. It says to stagger.
It says sin ethically to not follow your customs, right? Our customs, right? Our belief, right? This dog, he calls us to err away from our customs. Go ahead.
It says to facilitate. I don't know if that
Yeah.
It says alternate or waver between different opinions or actions. Be indecisive.
You go back to mentally. He mentally destroyed us, man.
That's
That's destroyed. That was in the strong
Unstable.
definition. Okay.
It's unstable.
Right. Yeah, man. So, hey, it said when he go out the womb, right? He went astray to deceive, to seduce, to cause you to err. So the minute they came out the caves,
cause you to wander just like him.
right, right. And that spirit, I meant to make that point last night, but I forgot 'cause I had so much.
Yeah.
When I saw that, all the words, yeah. This nigga, the so-called white man is a wanderer, right? So he calls you to wander.
Yeah.
Now we pilgrims like this nigga.
Yeah.
Cause he's the real pilgrim.
Yeah.
Hey, the Lord had to give him something. Hey, settle right here. Settle right here at Mount Seir.
That's why it says Colossians that we be not tossed no
To
more
and fro.
to and fro.
Yep.
Like the truth.
And that goes in Isaiah 10 and 20, where it talks about we shall no longer,
Stay upon him that smote us.
we won't trust in those who smote us.
Right.
These so-called allies. You know, you had a guy,
Right.
Charleston White, talking about so-called white man does good because he taught us how to read. So all the shit that done happened to us,
He taught us how to read.
the backwards logic of our people, man. And that goes into justifying the wicked for a reward. But the elect will no longer need that validation. We will no longer sit at the feet of Esau and his table, waiting for him to give us a drink of his philosophy.
Right.
We've returned to the Heavenly Father. We're drinking out of those systems.
Right.
Isaiah 59 and 10.
Hey, Salaki, that goes to the other point when Elder knocked us out by doing the lesson on the God said we should be happy that the so-called white man created the blue letter Bible. He said we should be happy the white man created the blue letter Bible. We don't need the fucking blue letter Bible, man.
He's a tool. He's a tool. It comes from the Lord. All of it comes from the Heavenly Father. He's just a tool, man.
That was the Lord just giving us more to help the rest of the remnant understand what the Bible is talking about. Because it tell you in Colossians 1 and 26, the mysteries that have been hid from ages and have not been made manifest to the saints. Well, you got the 144,000, then you got the unnumbered multitude. The unnumbered multitude don't wake up but by hearing the words of the Lord from the 144,000.
That quick understanding.
The 144,000 had the quick understanding. So now the Lord set up the blue letter Bible for the apostles, elder bishops, and elders and brothers to feed the flock, to get them the understanding of this how the Lord worked. See how the so-called white man set this up? The Lord did it for us to feed the sheep, man.
Hey, and our faith isn't predicated on the blue letter Bible.
Right,
Man. We
right.
believe off of the words of the Lord alone.
Alone, man.
If you
By the
need-
1611.
Right. If you need these different sources and these different books, you really don't believe, man.
Period.
Theology.
Hey,
Isaiah,
cause we can use from Babylon to Timbuktu, right?
Yeah.
We can use that, right, to say, oh yeah, he said that over 1 million Jews fled to Africa, right? We don't need that. We got Luke 21.
The Lord already said it.
Luke 20 and 24, Yahweh said, when you see Jerusalem come past with armies, right? Oh, we get to Donovan, right? It say Ham, the youngest son of Noah, right? Right? But he wasn't not the father of the Negro. We don't need that. In Exodus, the Lord said he put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. We don't need that shit, man. That's just the Lord giving us extra to feed the flock, man.
That's what the so-called white man need all these extra sources, man. Oh, we
Right.
need to find the
a lot of
most.
meat on that.
Right.
We need to do this. We need to do, man. Fuck that, man. We got the word of the Lord alone. We have faith as a gift from on high, man. That's all we need. Man.
The Lord said we are his witnesses. Lord willing, we those men. He said, whoever the elect is, the Lord said they are his witnesses, man. They're going to stand on these scriptures alone.
Isaiah 59 and 10. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in the night.
Right.
We are in a desolate place as dead men.
Hey, that's what the Lord said. Bring forth the blind that have eyes and the deaf that have ears. Hey, we can hear and see now. And we ain't talking about no carnal shit, man. We talking about we see the so-called white man for who he really is. We hear. We hear what he talking about, man. And what he's talking about is destroy you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indians, and Haitians, man. Oh, that boy had said the other week one time, hey, everything that's evolved around our life, the so-called white man to use it as to target us, man. Everything in our life is a weapon now. Because they got to get rid of us, man. This is why Yahweh Shah said that he's shorting the days. Because if he don't, it ain't going to be no righteous here to be saved, man. If the so-called white man keep going the way he's going, it say he will speak villainy and work iniquity. He practiced hypocrisy, man. When is he going to do good? When? If the so-called white man do good, it wouldn't be no homeless so-called white people, man. They control all the resources, all the food. So why is there homeless white people in America, man? And it's getting worse. There's tent cities everywhere, man. Come on, man. Where they set the standard at, right, in Washington, this is where the standard gets set at. This is where the Senate, the government, the Congress. Why is there homeless people all over Washington, man?
Why is there homeless people in general when you have billions
Come on,
of dollars in
man.
resources?
Trillions.
Trillions. It doesn't make any sense at all to have any homeless. And when you had, what was that, Gaddafi, who set up
Right, Gaddafi, yeah.
societies, man, where it was very little homeless, you kill people like that. Was that actually for real?
Yeah. But he was about gold, man. He was trying to use gold as a standard, man.
They're trying to combine all those African countries under one currency.
Right.
A gold-backed currency at that. So that they could actually make money off of their resources.
Right.
Because that's one thing Esau not going to tell you. In order for him to live like this, he got to rob everybody else. That's why he created this economic system, so that he could steal from so-called third world countries. These countries are rich in minerals. They're really not third world countries. You keep them underdeveloped so you can get the raw materials for pennies on the dollar. And you thought that you could use big words to hide that fact. But the Lord is bringing it out. And the Lord's exposing that he called you out before you even were thought of, man. He already called you out. He already called your number in your playbook. That's why we understand that this world is heading towards the hour of temptation. No matter what Esau tell you on CNN and Fox News. And you got Israelites that mock that. It's June. Ain't no microchip. Well, look at the world. Look at where the world is headed. That you cannot buy or sell. We already know Esau's whole playbook. And it's because the Lord gave us the eyesalve to see it.
So Psalms 7 and 14. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity and had conceived mischief.
See, it said he travaileth, man. Get the word travail, man. It said he travaileth with iniquity, man. You know how heavy that is to travail with iniquity, man? Your whole life is consumed in being the devil that you are. You got it.
And had conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood.
Right. See? He brought forth falsehood. And what it said in Isaiah 28, it said they have made a covenant with death and that hell are they at agreement. Right? It said on the falsehood have we hid ourselves.
Right.
That's what it's saying.
By calling themselves every other people but themselves.
So all these 501c3 tax exempt status pastors, they on the falsehood. Your favorite camp leaders on the falsehood, man. But Jake been doing that since the Greek Empire. They went to, make a covenant with the heathen, man. You got it.
He made a pit and diggeth it.
Right. And America is a pit. Babylon the Great is a pit. That's what I tell you that, what's that, Isaiah 50, was it 54? The captive exile hasten to be loose, that they shall not die in the pit. Isaiah, what's that, 51? Yeah. 14, I think it is, you got it.
He made a pit and diggeth it.
Right.
And is fallen into the ditch which he made.
Right. And now we are watching, and we see the so-called white man fall in the ditch he made by watching the common Edomites. Right. They down there now. They down here with us. Right. So now they in the mire. Now they in the mucky muck.
It's not by accident.
Right.
No.
It was designed, man. You got it.
His mischief shall return upon his own head.
Right.
And his violent dealings.
It says his violent dealings. Not any kind of dealings. His violent dealings. Go ahead.
Shall come down upon his own pate.
Hey, it says violent dealings, right? What it said in Matthew 11:12? The kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent took it by force. So now his own violent dealings. Welcome back to the basis of men, you bitch, you. You got it.
I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness.
Yeah, because we know the Lord is doing this, man. The so-called white man, he's just a tool. He's nobody but a tool used for a moment, man. And the Lord ain't gonna clean the tool off and put it back in the toolbox. He gonna melt it down and make something else out of it.
And will sing praises. And will sing praise to the name of the Lord Yahweh Most High.
Which is the song of Moses, man. The song of salvation. Lord willing deliverance, man. They shall sing as it were a new song. So yeah, man, we just wanted to come shed some light on Babylon the Great. You know, shed the light in the darkness, in this dark place. Hey, Lord was edifying. We give all praise, honor, and glory. to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Lakapadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And the sincere salutation to all the occupation of truth, and believing this truth, that the four winds of the earth, the entire word, shed light to those who elect. Shalom to the Aquas who are listening, learning. And if your sisters who are listening, go out tuning in. Eighth water for your precepts. Till next time, we say Shalom.
Shalom. Wa, ba, ba.